Edu class. We are today going to discuss about the topic Porifera. Porifera, as we know, they are generally called as sponges. They are primitive form of multicellular animal. Many of them can be seen in the particular marine floor, but few of them are in the freshwater form. Example is our spongilla. Poriferan general feature. The level of organization in Porifera are seen as cellular level. They are mere aggregates of loosely arranged cells that compose the body part. So they are said to have a level of cellular aggregation. Coming to the symmetry, as you can see in the figure, these organisms are of irregular shape structure. So getting a symmetry, proper symmetry by dividing into two equal halves is impossible. So they are coming under the category of asymmetrical type. Poriferans, depending upon where they are seen, they are mostly sessile. They do attach to a particular surface or substratum. They don't have any motility. And they are also seen in a colonial nature. The body is divided or type is diploblastic, which contain an outer region called ectoderm and inner region called endoderm, which is lined by middle region, the group of cells called as mesenchyma. So they are diploblastic in nature. Coming to the structure of the poriferan is well known for the holes, tiny holes or the pore that they have in their body, which we call it as the ostia. Following the ostia, we enter into a cavity-like structure where the most of the life processes happens, and the cavity is called as a spongiocele cavity. Spongiocele cavity has an outer single opening which is considered as a osculum. So they usually follow a pattern of canal system for the transferring of material, the food, from the outer water environment to the inner body, and then exhaling the or removal of the waste product out from the body through a canal system process. The canal system begins with an outer tiny pores that have present on the body surface of ostia of the porifera, which is known as the ostia. Through ostia, the material enters into the cavity called as a spongiocele. From spongiocele, it enters into the after this body utilizes or uses through simple diffusion process, the material enters into the cell, and the waste material is being given out through the tiny opening called as the osculum. Depending upon the pattern of flow of material, canal system itself is divided into three. The simple canal system, as we just mentioned now, from ostia to the spongiocele to that of the osculum, we call it as the ascent type. Syncoid type has a complex form where from the ostia the material have to enter into a radial canal called as porosophils, and then to the spongiocele, and finally to the outer opening osculum. Leuconoids are much more complex form of poriferan where ostia the movement of water enters through, and the current of the incurrent canal it enters into the porosophils, and exherent canals should enter into apophils, and finally through the osculum. So as we see, depending upon the complexity of how the canal system is been working, we have three types: ascent, syncoid as well as leuconoid. The unique feature of poriferan is the presence of choanocytes. Before entering into choanocytes, let's see little bit about the body wall of our poriferan. The body wall of poriferan, as we mentioned, they are diploblastic. The outermost layer, you can call it as the ectoderm, which is composed of a special cell called as pianocoderm. Followed by pianocoderm, there is a group of cells which we call it as mesophyll layer, and then the inner region where the choanocytes are present called as a choanoderm. So choanoderm leads to the formation of the choanocyte-like structure. Now what is choanocyte? Let's see here. This is a choanocyte that you can see in the region which has been inner to the gastrovascular cavity, where it composed of the region inner as called as chola, composed of a bigger flagella, and then it contains a cell called as a choanocyte, and finally with that of amoebocyte region. So these together forms the choanocyte region. Little bit detail about those layer. We have an outermost region called as a collocyte, which will be segregating the collagen or the spongin fiber. Pianocytes, which is the outermost covering of that of these sponges, as you can see here. Inner they have the gamete cells or germ cells called as a oocyte, which can also lead to formation of sperm cells. Porocytes are those which controls the water flow, and sclerocytes secrete silica, spicules, etc. Choanocytes generates a water current. So remember, as we mentioned, the mesophil cells, the middle cells, they are especially producing a kind of cells called as amoebocytes. Amoebocytes can produce different type of cells such as the archaeocytes. Archaeocytes are actually totipotent in nature. Then we have trophocyte, where trophocytes are considered as nurse cells which produce the nourishment for all these. Followed by we have tezocytes, which stores or involved in storing the food material, and gland cells are produced. Gland cells help in the secretion. Collocytes, we have already seen, they are meant for the spongin fiber formation or the collagen secretion. And then we have also sclerocytes, sclerocytes, which produces the material such as the spicules. And then there is a germ cell which actually forms the egg and the sperm, as well as the chromocytes produces the pigment. So these are the different type of cells that we have in the poriferan body that rises from the mesophil layer. Now, poriferans also consist of the spicule, archaeocyte, the important cells, and sclerocyte for secretion, mesenchymal cells, pianocyte, the outer layer, and choanocyte. The major unique feature, choanocytes are being formed from choanoderm. Digestion in case of our poriferan, they are having intracellular digestion. They lack development of the other physiological processes such as the circulation. Circulation is just done by wandering amoebocytes, and respiration and expiration is quickly done through the simple process of the diffusion through body surface. Excretion also by diffusion through simple process of body surface. And then the main excretory product is in form of ammonia, since they are aquatic in form. Reproduction process can be also a very simple reproduction process they have. As we know, the poriferan body is supported by the skeleton system. They are made up of silicaceous spicules, spongin fibers, or calcareous. Reproduction, as we said earlier, they are having asexual reproduction as well as sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction can be done by producing of the exogenous structure called as the budding, or endogenous structure called as the gemmule. Gemmule is considered as internal buds which is formed in the freshwater form. They are hermaphrodite in nature. Fertilization is internal, and they do produces the larvae, so they are having indirect development. The larvae that they produced are called as amphiblastula, and that's it all about the reproduction process. Poriferans are classified into three on basis of their skeleton system, into Calcaria, Hexatenilidia, and Desmospongia. Calcareas are made up of calcareous components or content, and Hexatenilidia is made up of the silicaceous material, and Desmospongia is made up of the spongin fiber. We have three different examples of the poriferan to learn. They are cycon, scypha, which is marine in nature, Euspongia pad sponge, which is also marine in nature, and then the spongilla, which is the freshwater form. I hope the class was interesting for you. Please do subscribe and like our class. Thank you. Let's see with the other thing later. Thank you.